welcome to This Week in Adoption. I'm your host, Rebecca Greenspan, founder and CEO of RG Adoption Consulting, where we help guide families step by step throughout their entire adoption journey, from before home study through the rest of your life. Welcome. Good morning. Oh my goodness, we have so much to talk about. So let's jump in. Let's talk about visits prior to the birth of your hopeful child. That is a thing, if you didn't know that. If you are matched with an expectant mom, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months prior to delivery date, while you are talking to her, and I think I may have talked about this last time, but I'll finish my sentence. While you are talking to her, you should offer to come visit. It's always good to be face to face, to get to know each other, to dissipate the fear that you both have. She doesn't know you, you don't know her. And you are building this lifelong, very intimate relationship with each other, go visit face to face if you can and if she wants you to. So it's always a good thing to offer. If and when you have that first phone call, do not put her on the spot to answer you right then and there. Typically, she's working with a caseworker, so she can let the caseworker know if that's something she would like. And then I think it's a great idea. And bring gifts if you do. Small, just small, nothing coercive, nothing huge, nothing a lot of money, just a small token. Okay. Fundraising and getting pushback. And while I am talking about this, I'm going to pull this up on Facebook because this is something that recently came up in our adoption community and have people given you pushback trying to adopt. There is or trying to fundraise for your adoption. There has been a lot of, here it is. I found it. A lot of people decide that they want to give you their 2 cents about your own damn business. And so somebody, oh, look, my phone even gave a thumbs up to that. That's funny. Somebody in our community posted, did anyone experience family pushback or discomfort with your fundraising for your adoption? And here are some of the replies. Let me see here. All right. Yes, from my sibling and their spouse. As in, didn't want to contribute or against you fundraising at all. And let's see if there was a response to that. Oh, okay, hold on. How did you deal with it, or explain to them why this is totally valid and shouldn't be judged as a way to grow your family? We tried to talk to them about it when they brought it up, but it went nowhere, unfortunately. My husband and I had to just remember that people are entitled to their opinions, and they can believe differently than us and even be negative about it, but it doesn't change things for us. Bravo. As long as we are comfortable with our decisions, they're the right as long as we are comfortable with our decisions, they're the right decisions for us. Amen. That is worth repeating. As long as we are comfortable with our decisions, then they're the right decisions for us. Now, I could dissect that a little bit more, but I won't for the case of this conversation. I think if people want to understand, they'll approach from a place of curiosity, not criticism. The only thing I'll say about that is even if you make a decision, that doesn't mean you shouldn't learn and hear other people out. And I'm not just talking about fundraising. Fundraising is pretty benign, although people have strong opinions about it. And it's always good to hear differing viewpoints because maybe it'll open your mind to something new or different. That's not to say it wasn't emotional for us. It was really difficult, and their questions really emphasized some of our own doubts and fears. We had to take some time to work through it. We've definitely struggled with deciding if we are comfortable asking for money. It feels wrong in a way, but at the same time, I don't think people comprehend that adoption is not just a matter of a few $1,000s. It's tens of thousands of dollars. Totally get that. We heard some pretty uniformed comments. Sorry. We heard some pretty uninformed comments. Let's We heard some pretty uninformed comments. Thankfully, we had a good adoption support that encouraged us. Amen to that. Adoption support, adoption community. Okay. They go on to say they viewed adoption as uncouth and not right because we aren't a charity or in dire straits. Someone said, maybe I'm just of a different generation, after saying, I'm surprised they're doing this. Everybody has their own judgments. Then somebody came on to say, adoption can be between 45 to 65. Truth bomb. Certain generations paid 2 pickles and a raspberry for their now $800,000 house. Oh my God, I love this person. I needed to write my social media. Some people, certain generations paid 2 pickles and a raspberry for their $800,000 house. I roll. People will be happy for you. My friends demanded a baby registry when I didn't have or intend to have one set up. If you'd rather those gifts come in funds, what is the difference? Adoption shouldn't be so unreasonably expensive in the first place. Maybe they should spend their old people energies on fighting that injustice instead. Amen. Preach, woman, preach. A friend suggested phrasing it to people who question it as, instead of asking for stuff once the baby is here, i.e., a register, we are asking for stuff, i.e., funds, to actually get the baby here. It really shouldn't make a difference, but maybe to some people who question it would understand it better. I love that. Wow, there are some long posts and some long opinions. I would love to hear yours. What are some of your opinions on fundraising? And maybe another time we'll talk about some fundraising efforts that people have done to actually raise money. I'm not going to get too into that right now. Moving on. The family, okay, this is my note to remind me what to talk about and what came up. So I always come on here, if you're new here, and recap what has come up in the past week in adoption. Things that we've read online, in our own adoption family community that we work with currently, or past clients, conversations I've had with professionals or with clients. And then I share them with you because there's really some beautiful golden nuggets and things to learn and take away from the conversations I'm having with other people. If other people are having these issues, these questions, these concerns, these comments, they are not the only one. I had an instance. A family traveled for the birth of what they were hoping was going to be their baby. Mom changed her mind and decided she was going to parent. And then 2 weeks later, let her caseworker know she wanted the family after all, that she couldn't parent. She tried, and it just wasn't going to work. Now, does this happen often? Not too often. It has happened at least twice since I've started my business, which is 11 years. I'm guessing it's happened more than that, and I just can't recall. However, please remember that this can happen. So if you go to a situation and a mama changed her mind, do not give her any inkling other than full support of her rightful decision, because you never know what will happen later. I don't want to get your hopes up. I don't want to get false hopes up. This is just being kind to people anyways, right? If she decides to parent, that is her right to do. I understand you're feeling all sorts of feelings, and you should be nothing but supportive and kind to her while you are upset for yourself. This whole adoption industry is that huge juxtaposition. That's a big word. I don't even know if I'm using it right, but I like it, so I'm going to use it. And, quick turnarounds. Let's see. Wait. Hold on. There was another thing I wanted to bring up. 1 second. And by the way, yesterday was Juneteenth. Did you do anything to celebrate? I went to a beautiful celebration. Oh, and we also had Father's Day since the last time I was on. And in my community, we have so many new fathers. So that's a beautiful thing. Okay, wanted to bring this up. Not quick turnarounds. I'm going to switch. Here's a question. Did you do any local advertising to find an identified adoption? One of our agencies suggests it. They gave us their brochures with our names on them to give to places like my OBGYN to provide to anyone who comes to them looking to make an adoption plan. If you did anything similar, where else did you network? They say about 50% of their adoptions are identified placements, and sounds like it can't hurt to try. So let's see what people had to say about that. Hold on. Okay. One person said, I'm sure you have done this already, but make sure you check local adoption laws in your state. Some states don't allow this kind of advertising. True that. True that. As long as no money changes hands with wherever you are advertising, it's fine. Somebody else jumped in. It's an agency within our own state, so she knew the regulations specific to us. And then I went back and looked them up to be sure. If you're advertising in another state, though, make sure you know their laws as well. We live in a state that doesn't allow such advertising. Another person said, that would make me uncomfortable. If I've decided to use an agency that I don't want to then I don't want to self-advertise it. That's why I am working with an agency. It feels a bit like you're doing their job for them. Another person said, let me move this. Okay. I would also think that that it would be an awesome way for an agency to wash their hands of any responsibility and still keep down payments and whatnot. Back to the original person. This was my thought at first, but it's not just them. Oh, this is the person who wrote it. It's not just them taking your money with doing no work. It's a significantly lower fee, but then the birth mother gets all the services the agency provides. This agency provides unlimited counseling for birth parents, which is very important to us. I understand what you are saying, but it's for us to figure out if we are comfortable with it or not. Just looking for advice from anyone who has done this and what their experience is. Amen, by the way. I have no problem with people chiming in about their opinions, but when somebody asks, and this is like when somebody asks a question, they generally aren't asking for opinions necessarily. They really want some advice. And I chimed in and I said, I actually love that they give you the tools to self-advertise. It is never a bad idea for anyone because you never know how you're going to match. and adoptions overall are down. I think it sends a signal that they want to help you match however they can, and this is just one way. I never think it's a bad idea to self-advertise if you want to and if you are comfortable with it. It's another tool in your toolbox, and a lot of people do match this way. A lot of people are also scammed this way, and you need to know that. So if you are going to self-advertise and try to find an identified adoption, it's never a bad idea to have a team of people around you to help vet that situation and walk you through what to do to try to weed out any scammers that might be trying to take advantage of you. I have one such situation happening right now with one of my other families. A mom contacted her over TikTok, I think. I don't know. Very early on her pregnancy. And that doesn't mean she's a scammer right off the bat. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. And your antennas should be up. Have conversations, get to know each other, see what happens. Will she stick around? Will you stick around? As it gets further along, maybe ask for a Zoom call. As it gets further along, let her know it's time to engage with an attorney or an agency and then see what happens. So there are things you can do. It's never a bad idea. It happens all the time. And, it depends how you do it, where you do it, and then how you follow through if somebody contacts you. So I didn't necessarily see it as a bad thing. I think it's just another opportunity. Okay. I'm going to end there. I hope everybody has a great week. I see somebody on here watching. I don't know if she's still watching, who may be on her way and got the call that the expectant mom she's matched with is in labor. So if you are still watching, I hope it all goes smoothly. Good luck to you. Hope the birth is smooth for mama, baby's okay, and that everything works out the way it's supposed to. Have a wonderful week, and I will catch you next week on This Week in Adoption. Bye for now.